Welcome. This video, I'm going to continue on project number 3, the photography site, which, if you recall, I told you that you cannot do unless you actually have purchased a copy from Adobe Creative Cloud. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using an alternate copy. I've placed that on Canvas for you to download, and I'm going to continue working on page 19. If you recap, I'm in design mode here, so let me go into live mode. What we did was we inserted these 3 pictures over here, and we've also inserted the graphic over here. You can see whenever you click on something in live view, you'll see a little blue, tells you exactly what it is. That's an action image, and you can see down over here, this is the tag selector that helps you see the images. Remember, it goes in reverse order. So from image to header to body. You'll see that actually in the chapter itself. So I'm continuing on page 19, and what it wants us to do is actually format using CSS. Now, we really haven't introduced CSS very much, but remember, CSS is what allows you to format your pages, and without having to do the whole page, you can do part of the page, you can do multiple pages. It just goes on and on and on. We're going to talk more about CSS, and when we do our template, I'm going to actually take the template, break it down, show you all the CSS and how it all gets put together. Each chapter introduces you a little bit more to CSS, and then I'll try to tie it all together for you. I will also put online some resources that you can look at that will really help you understand stuff. Plus, if anybody likes, I will have a CSS primer, just a special video session that we can do questions and answers, and I can explain it for you as well. So starting on page 19, it wants us to format the page background. So we have the index open, and we have it in live. So the first thing it wants me to do is click on the photography logo right over here, and then it wants you to take a look down over here. So this is an image tag, which is in a header tag, which is in a body tag. We'll talk more about tags again. The next thing it wants us to do is open up the CSS Designer. I do have it open on another screen, which you can't see, so let me drag it on over here. And here is the CSS Designer. The things that we need to worry about are the sources. Right now, we only have one source, and that's the style CSS. Media allows you to create what's called media queries, and allows you to have different formatting based upon different screen sizes, such as a cell phone, a tablet, a small computer screen, a large computer screen, and you'll see more and more in that in the chapter in Bootstrap. The selectors themselves are the different tags. I'm going to drag this down over here, and I'm going to drag this down over here so you can see more and more, and we'll put the properties up. These are the individual tags that get the formatting, and the properties are what's actually set. So if I click on body, and you can see if I choose show set, and let me drag this down a little bit more and this up a little more to show a little bit more of it. You can see this is the layout, this is text, this is background, and this is some other things. So you can see we set the background color to this ugly gray. And if we get rid of this show set, it shows you all the ones that are available. So we have the layout is 850 pixels wide. So I'm going to click on the body selector over here, and it wants you to take a look at the fact that it has all these different tags over here. So anything that looks like this body image div, this affects all of the tags. There's only going to be one body, but you're going to have several images. You can have as many divs as you want. Everything that's inside a P tag will get affected. This stands for anchor. This is the header section. This is the nav section. This is a P tag that's within a nav, again, and on and on and on. Here are the row 3A, row 3B, and row 3. Now notice this becomes with, it starts with a number sign. That means it's an ID in there. So you can only have one ID for a particular tag. You'll see more about that later. Then we have this is an actual footer tag. anything that begins with a period is a class. You can assign a class to more than one tag. So if you want to create something, say bold, italic, and large, you can create a class, and you can apply that to as many elements as you want. Now notice, this is not in alphabetical order. It creates them in the order that they are actually created, or lists them in the order it's actually created. And then if you click on something, you'll see the individual properties that are associated with it. So let's go to body, and we're going to change the color, I believe. And on page 21, we're on number 7. By now, you should have reviewed all of the items that are on page 20, the different tags. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to change the background color. It's really fairly easy. We're going to use what's called the eyedropper. So we have, this is layout, text, border, and background. So you can see we have this over here. We're going to click on this over here, and now we have any color. So I could actually set it to red just by clicking here and hitting the Enter key. We don't really want it red. We want it to be a color of blue. So I'm going to go back in here, and here's the eyedropper that allows us to sample a color. If you're familiar with Photoshop, that has an eyedropper as well. I'm going to click on this here, and it's going to sample this color of blue. Now, it's not going to change until I hit the Enter key. Now I hit the Enter key, and boom. And you can see it kind of gives it a nice 3D effect over here. That's everything on page 21. Okay, I'm back. Those of you that may have wondered what happened, my Dreamweaver version had crashed, so I stopped the video and I cut out the version over here. We're back to where we are. Unfortunately, I lost my color change, so that's no big deal. So I'm going to go back to the CSS Designer, give you an option to see me do it again. And we're going to go. Now, there is a perfect example of why you should always save. Save extremely often. So I'm clicking my selectors over here. We're going to go back to the body. We're going to go back to the background. And we're going to select the blue from the eyedropper. And we'll click on OK. And that looks kind of nice. We're not in live, so let me change it to live. It'll look a lot nicer in live view. Now so we have a kind of a nice 3D effect as we talked about before. Then I'm going to save right here. Now, one of the things the book talks about is we made changes and we're in the index file, but the index doesn't have a little asterisk on it. If you recall, the asterisk tells you that something has changed and you need to save it. And we can't even save it because it's grayed out. But the style CSS has been changed. So we're going to go in here, we're going to save that one. Go back to source code, and we can always save it just by clicking Save All as well. Then I'm going to go back to the body, and now we're going to change the background. We're going to put the background image, and hopefully it's not going to crash this time. Click on OK, and boom. Now, it kind of looks a little ugly, and that's because the background is going to repeat unless you tell it not to repeat. So I'm on number 15. And by the way, this is not a full-fledged image that shows at 100% opacity. So that's why you can see some of the blue behind it when you saw that the picture of the stairs was kind of gray. So what we want to do is we want to turn off background repeat, which means we don't want it repeating. It's going to repeat all the way to the right and all the way down. You can see it's kind of got a little tile effect over here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the background, which is here, and we're going to find background repeat. There it is, right over here, background repeat. This means repeat both vertically and horizontally. This is just repeat X is horizontal, repeat Y is vertical, and this is no repeat. So now you can see all we have is this one tile, which kind of looks rather ugly. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it to change for the exact width of the screen. It's really very easy. So what we need to do is find the actual background size. So I'm going to drag this up over here and give myself a little bit more real estate and drag this up here. So we have some more over here. So what we need to do is we need to find a background size, which is right here. I'm going to click on this over here, the first one, and choose cover. And now it covers the entire screen. That takes care of number 23. Page 23. Page 24, I'm going to save, even though it doesn't tell me to save, over here. And we're checking on the related styles, which is here, which we took care of that, and we save that. We're going to go back to the source code, and boom, we're done with page 24. So that's all I'm going to do for this particular video. And then we're going to pick up format the background and some of the other ones. So let me go. I'm going to delete the little spaces that we have in between the crash. Then I will post the video. So have a great day.